is going to be complex, because when employees will have, the question is alternatives. I say if all the big investment banks and banks decide that everybody comes back to work at 100%, then it's not an issue, because the environment in which they operate will be an environment where everybody is equal and everybody has to go back to the office. But when you start to see alternatives, you'll see some employees that they want to have the flexibility. They want to have flexibility to work 1, 2 days, 3 days from home, every week. And the access as well to different pools of population. I think it's interesting to see some of the trends that are not visible for the moment. You start to have employee companies on the west coast of the US, tech companies who are completely short of resources, who start to hire people directly in Europe and telling them, I'll give you a US salary and you work from wherever you want in Europe. And if you don't start opening up the way you operate and bring that hybrid model, you'll not be able to have access to some of the existing talent pools, and some of the employees will not want to work for you because they're basically not flexible enough compared to alternatives they can find now in the market.
I mean, it's a soft story rather than a hard story, but I think it does have a lot of relevance to what the office of the future looks like here, and that is mental health and the way companies acknowledge that employees who are working in this hybrid mode may not be getting a lot of downtime. They may not be disconnecting from their office technology. How do you build in those safeguards to make sure you have a healthy workforce when, as we know, a lot of bosses are just looking at the P&L and the increase in productivity that they've enjoyed as a result?
Listen, I've talked to a number of CEOs, and I think they're really concerned about that. I think there's a difference between a hybrid model and 100% remote. On 100% remote, some of the risks you talk about are definitely there. I think in a hybrid model is more manageable, because in the hybrid model, there are moments where people disconnect because they have to go physically to the office. And that changes a bit the way they operate. However, the concern is there. We have seen quite a bit of increase in productivity. Most firms, as reported in third quarter of last year, saw a bounce of productivity. And some of it was unhealthy, and some of it cannot be sustained, because some of it is basically that burnout in which employees went in terms of not making, a disconnect between personal life and work life, and it's just a continuous working process. So definitely we cannot sustain that. Now, there are rules that companies can put in place. For example, you have some companies who gave 1 Friday out of 4, in terms of basically being a day off. There have some companies who forbid, for example, to do any kind of Zoom, Teams, or anything else on Fridays. There have some companies that, like we're stopping basically any kind of meetings or any kind of calls beyond a certain hour. So there are rules you can put in place to be able to do that. But it's true that if you work mainly in a remote environment and you don't put rules in place, you really have big risk about basically employee well-being and healthcare.